Hey guys, it's Dima from Dimosteg, and today we're talking about 3-2-1 backup. So this video I wanted to do for a long time, but first I had to actually manage 3-2-1 backup myself, and now I do, and I think it's time for me to share with you. It's a total overkill, but I think you might learn something and you might like it. So let's begin. What is a 3-2-1 backup? So the idea is to have a backup plan that is good enough so if something happens, you'll still maintain your data. And the idea of 3-2-1 backup is that you have at least 3 copies of your data in 2 physically different sites and 1 offline. Now I know, it might vary and some say it's a little bit different meaning, but that's the way I see it and that's the way that I think that it's good to implement it. Regarding the offline, I want to talk about, now I actually have a whole script on my phone for this video, but about the offline backup, I want to explain this. I didn't write anything about this, but I want to explain this. You know those crypto locking viruses, malwares? Well, if you have an offline backup and something like this happened to you, this is exactly what is going to save your data, because this one is offline and it won't be crypto locked or whatever, and you can fix the issue on your computer or whenever, format everything, and only after everything is clean you can connect your backup external SSD, for example, or whatever, and then pretty much use the data that was backed up offline. So how I manage my 3-2-1 backup? So first of all, I have a QNAP. Now, a QNAP is a NAS. It's a network attached storage, and pretty much it's a sort of small computer with usually multiple disks, and it's connected to your network via a network cable, most likely. And this allows you to copy files from your computer into this, and you can share it with other computers, for example, or back them up there. Now, in my case, I have 2 drives of 8 terabytes each, and they are on RAID 1. Now, I'm not going to explain exactly what is RAID, but I'm using RAID 1, which means that both of the 8 terabyte disks have the same data all the time, and if one of them dies, the other one holds the information perfectly intact. Now, there is something called file versioning, or previous versions, or file history, or however they call it now on Windows, which I use. Now, I set up my backup to backup multiple folders on few disks, so mostly it's my desktop, it's my working YouTube projects, and my photos folders, and some others which are backed up to QNAP. Now, those backups are done every 6 hours and they are kept there for 1 month. This means that whenever I do work on some file and I edit it, the original one, or at least the previous version, will be kept alive on the QNAP, and I can easily use the previous versions inside Windows to restore files wherever I deleted them or edited with no issues. This is an easy process and a simple one. It's not perfect, but it really works and works well. Now, the next part, and that's sort of an overkill, I guess, but I do love this, I use Resilio Sync. Now, Resilio Sync is an app that you can also purchase a pro version, but I use only the free. I have it on my Windows installed, on my phone, and on the QNAP. And this pretty much syncs folders. The idea is that I sync my photos folder, my working YouTube projects, and my desktop from my PC to the QNAP. And obviously vice versa, if I edit something on the QNAP, on one of those files, it will be edited on the computer, but you can limit that. Now, the phone also backs up a few files only when I actually turn on this app on my phone, but this app works only if I manually open the app, so this is not exactly a backup, it's more like a redundancy. So if my PC is off and I want to grab some file quickly and I'm abroad or something, I can access my QNAP and take this file right away, no problems, no issues, wherever I am. And it's sort of a disaster recovery, but on the same place. So again, it's not perfect, but it is a quick way to access the same files from another location, sort of. Now, for really classic, I would call them, backups, I use Macrium Reflect. Macrium Reflect is, in my case, a Windows app. As far as I remember, they have a Linux version. I might be wrong on that one. Yeah, you do need to purchase a license for that app. There are different variety of licenses, but Macrium pretty much allows you to backup either a drive, a whole drive, or particular folders. So in my case, I use it for only two things: backup my C drive, which is my operation system, and backup the photo folders. And yeah, the photo folder is backed up a lot, I know, but it is an important folder for me. Anyways, there are multiple sort of backup plans that I use. One of them is backing up the C drive and the photos, each one separate obviously, to the QNAP every night. Now, it does an incremental backup, and it can do a differential and a full backup. And there are lots of ways to play with it. And in my case, I do pretty much a nightly backup of an incremental backup. And once every week, I think on Sunday, if I remember correctly, it will do a full backup. And it keeps up to 14 files back, so 2 weeks. Now, this same backup also, once it's finished, takes the final file and copies it back to one of my hard drives on my computer. And why I do that? We'll get to that a little later. Now, those two backups have another plan, and they are the same backups, but on Friday, every Friday, there is an incremental backup that I do to an external SSD, to this one actually. And this is my offline backup, as you understand now. And if I actually forget to connect this, Macrium Reflect will send me an email that the backup failed, and I'll understand that I forgot to connect it, and then I can connect it and run it again. It's a little bit manual process, but for an offline backup, it works. And every first Friday of every month, it will actually do a full backup as well. So that pretty much covers the offline backup. Now let's cover the final one, which is the offsite backup. Physically a different place, and usually it will be the cloud, and in my case I chose Backblaze. Now, Backblaze was recommended a lot in the community of the photographers, and I love photography, so yeah, it worked out really well. Now, there are two types of Backblaze license that you can buy. One of them is computer backup, and the other, I don't remember exactly, it's more for businesses, and I don't remember exactly the name, but as you understand, it's not what I chose. I chose the computer backup, which is unlimited, and you can back up everything on your computer. You can buy for single user or multiple, if you have multiple computers you want to back up. Regularly, it's $9 per month or $99 per 1 year, and even a little bit cheaper if you buy for 2 years. Now, Backblaze seemed to me the best option. Its app isn't that beautiful and nice, but mostly you turn it on and you forget it. That's it. It will keep every file, everything on the cloud for you, encrypted obviously and everything, and allows you to restore sort of pretty much easily. And yes, it does work, I did check, and I actually did a few files that I accidentally deleted, and it works really well. You can keep them for up to 1 month by default. Anything will be kept there. And if you even connect an external drive defaultly, you can also back up that as well. And by default, everything is backed up, so you are pretty much covered. Now, the other plan, if you want to actually back up your NAS, for example, you cannot do this with a computer backup. You need a special license for NAS backup. I don't remember how exactly it's called for them, but there you actually pay per each gigabyte. Now, the price is reasonable, but in my case it was just too much if I actually want to back up everything, and I decided against it. I back up all my computer only, and do you remember that hard drive that I told you that the Macrium Reflect copies back the files? Now you probably understand why, because they're on my computer. Backblaze take them as well into its cloud backup. So that's how I back up the backup files of a Macrium Reflect. Again, might be an overkill, but that's how I do that. Now, you might be asking why I didn't use Google Drive or some other services. And yeah, I actually checked Google Drive first because I really like Google services and I use them a lot. If I would want to back up everything to Google Drive, I would need to buy most expensive package they have, which is just much more expensive than Backblaze. It's not so simple because I need to manage the backups myself. Again, Google Drive is sort of a storage on cloud, not a backup service exactly, so it's not the same. And I think I just want the Google Photos, not everything in terms of Google. So I didn't really want to go on that way as well. Now, I did check also pCloud, and pCloud was one of the best solutions for me. it's also not a backup, it's more like a cloud storage. But if you grab their lifetime, for example, package on a holiday or something, and they do a lot of sales and there are a lot of pretty nice prices, though again I have my doubts, which one of the reasons that I didn't take that one, but it seems like a good service. It works for me. I did use it a couple of times for simple things because I'm on the free version right now, and it still seems a legit, quite a good option that I might decide to use in the future, but I have my doubts, so far I didn't go with that one. So in short, this is my 3-to-1 backup method. So I have 2 backups on different sites, so physically on the QNAP here at home, and one on the cloud in Backblaze, and one offline, which is the external SSD. So that's the methods that I use to do that. Again, might be an overkill. For me, it works well. Thank you for watching this DimosTech episode. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button and hit the bell so you won't miss any future video. And I'll see you on the next one.